There's a certain feeling that you will get once you overcome your fears. Once you do that action that pushes you out of your comfort zone, that thing you know you need to do but you've been avoiding. Whether that's going in on a date, going to speak to some women, socializing with some strangers, taking action on recording a YouTube video, posting some content out there for people to see. Whatever that thing is that you've got like a barrier holding you back, once you push through that, there is a certain feeling that you get that is like a rush of euphoria in your body. And it unlocks a new level of your mind. It unlocks a new level of your potential. To blast through the ceiling of your current potential, you need to do what you're anxious to do. Whatever it is that's making you sit in inaction, if you don't go and tackle that, it's just going to reinforce that you're someone that gives into your fears. It's going to reinforce that you're someone who is scared and weak and is fragile enough to give into his own mind. You need to become the conqueror of your own mind. You need to take control right now and think, I'm going to make choices that I know I need to do. I'm going to stop giving into fears. I'm going to stop giving into comfort. I'm going to stop taking the easy way out, and I'm going to head towards what I need to do. So I had this today. I spoke to someone who made me so there's this girl I spoke to today, and she made me feel nervous. I got loads of anxiety. I remember as I was speaking to her, my heart rate started increasing. I started breathing quite heavy. But because I pushed through that, and then I was still in the conversation with her, and I spoke to her for a while, I was then present after a while. The chattering mind shut up. It only started. The chattering mind came up as soon as I got into the conversation. It was trying to get me to avert, get away from this situation. But I sat there, I stayed calm, and I had the conversation. And then as I got into it, that chattering mind went, and I became more comfortable. My charisma came back, and then I became me. And often that barrier that's stopping you from doing things is going to flare up when you go and do it. When you go and slay that dragon, that thing once you go and tackle the insecurity, that thing that you know you need to do, you're going to get a flare of anxiety, a flare of rush, panic, anger, whatever the feeling is. It's going to flare up to get you to avert from that. Get out there now. You're going to be in trouble. Run, run, run. But the longer you sit there and the longer you force yourself to have that conversation, the longer you force yourself to do the thing that you know you need to do, the more your mind's going to realize that he's not going to stop. He's not going to give in to my insecurities. He's not going to avert. So I'm going to settle down and I'm going to help him. And the more you do this, the more you train the habit of your brain to be more efficient. You no longer see fear as a barrier. You just see it as that's something that is coming up right now. And as soon as I move past that, it's going to drop. And then I'm going to have a new level of potential. I'm going to have a new skill. I'm going to have a new experience that has enhanced my life. Fear is such a debilitating feeling. It's essential for us to survive, that's correct, but all it does is hold people back. It creates these thought patterns and these frameworks of thinking that hold people into their lives. It confines people to comfort, to stop them from going out into the unknown and seeing what they can achieve. And on the other side of fear is your greatest goals, your greatest achievements, everything you want in life. Is a new sense of fulfillment. It's a sense of gratitude for you and your younger self. Everything good comes on the other side of fear. And it's like when you do the things that make you fearful, that make you anxious, you level up in ways that you can't even explain. You can't even describe how much you level up once you push through them barriers. A lot of people feel lost in life. They're like, I don't know what to do with myself. I've got no goals. I've got no ambition. I just don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. And to this, I say, look inwards. Look into your insecurities. Look into your anxieties. What are the things that you're scared of? What are the things you know you need to be doing, but you're not doing? That is all the fuel you need. Right there in your insecurities, in your pitfalls and your downfalls is the fuel you need. That is all the passion and motivation you can ever ask for. And each one you overcome, each fear, each anxiety you overcome, the more you develop this new level of potential. The more you develop yourself as a character. See it as like a video game. You're this video game character who constantly has to level up. And you're now at level 2. You've got level 2 socializing skills. You've got a level 2 physique. You've got a level 2 charisma. All of these things are levels. And you need to take actions to upgrade each. You need to take actions to get more experience points. Every time you go and speak to that girl that makes you anxious, every time you go and socialize with people who push you out your comfort zone and are achieving things that you want to achieve, every time you sit down and do the work, every time you push past fear, you're building up experience points. With fear, you're building up the experience points of courage. And with courage is everything. Because if you're courageous, if you can act regardless of how you feel, the world is at your oyster, because you're never going to be held back by your own mind or even the minds of others. We all live in this fear of judgment. What's this person going to think if I do this? If I post content on social media, what's that person going to think? Oh, if I go and speak to that girl and it goes wrong, is she going to think I'm a weirdo? Again, it's all in your own mind. It's just a fear of judgment. It's a fear of the unknown. It's a fear of failure. And all this fear is just a fabrication in your own mind. We could say that fear comes down to the fear of death, and maybe it does. Maybe at essential, at the pure core, at all of everyone's fears, is the fear of our own mortality. But the more you do things that prove that that's not life or death, the easier life's going to get. Our brain interprets most of our fearful scenarios as life or death. That's why it sets off our flight or fight response. That's why you get anxiety when you speak to a woman. That's when you get anxiety when you think about doing public speaking. It's because our brain's seeing this as this is a life or death scenario, or it's placing so much importance on this scenario as like, because when we was hunter-gatherers and when we was evolving, these moments would be so important for the survival of our genes and the ability to pass on our genes, for us to have access to resources. All of these scenarios, like public speaking, speaking to a woman, gaining respect from other men, that would all have such a big impact on our social perception, which would then have an impact on how much resources we get and how much ability we get to pass on our genes. But we no longer live in a time of hunter-gatherers. Not everything is life or death. Barely anything nowadays is life or death. It doesn't matter if that person you speak to thinks you're a weirdo. It doesn't matter if you post content out on social media and it doesn't work out. None of that matters. It's all fabrications in your own mind, and you need to push through them barriers of fear. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. I think a good way to do this is to define what it is that makes you fearful. And you know on a deep level what it is that makes you fearful and what you need to do. But most of us spend our time running away from this notion, running away from the idea of tackling our fears. We do this by giving into instant gratification, by consuming social media, by distracting ourselves with our phones. All with the motivation, the hidden motivation of, I don't want to deal with my own thoughts. I don't want to give in to my insecurities. I don't want to realize what they are. I don't want to sit there with my own mind and see how scared it is and afraid. So sit down for a while without distraction. Like, just sit there on the end of your bed, stare at a wall, get a notepad and a journal, and just write whatever comes up in your mind. What is your mind scared of? And write these things out. And once you've got it there, once you've got it right in front of you, you've rather seen it in your own mind, you've seen it manifest in your thoughts and your beliefs, or you've got it on paper, you've literally transferred your thoughts onto a bit of paper. Once you've done this, you're going to have results of what you need to do. You're going to have a clear path of, wow, that is not how I want to act at all. That is not what I'm truly intellectually scared of. That's just what my brain is interpreting as fear. And you can tackle it, and you can train your brain to no longer interpret that scenario as fear. So you might journal, you might find out you've got like this hidden anxiety around women, and you know it innately. You know that you get anxious around women, but you don't know what thoughts and beliefs are cultivating that fear. So you journal, you meditate, and you realize it's a fear of rejection. I've got this massive fear of being unlovable, of being rejected, and this is causing me to have anxiety around women. And because of that anxiety around women, I'm now averting away from speaking to them. Once you realize this, you can realize like, wow, that is a faulty way of perceiving the world. That's a faulty way of perceiving myself. That's just some beliefs that have been formulated from my past experiences. They no longer serve me, so I need to prove them wrong. I need to tackle them beliefs head on. I need to go into them beliefs and pull them inside out and lose them. I need to throw them away, and I need to implant better beliefs. This is the basics of cognitive behavioral therapy. And exposing yourself to the scenarios that you're scared of is only just reinforcing that you are not them beliefs. They are just faulty beliefs that have happened from your faulty perceptions of interpretations of scenarios that have happened. That feeling of overcoming fear, that feeling of like doing that thing that scares you, and you come and walk away and you get the rush of dopamine, your heart rate is like, you feel excited, you've got excitement, you're proud of yourself. That feeling is what you should be aiming for at all times. You should always be living one step out of your comfort zone. The longer you sit in your comfort zone and the longer you give into fear, the worse these are going to perpetuate. Your anxieties are going to like topple on top of each other the more you ignore them and the more you choose to seclude yourself and sit in inaction. So your fear for women right now, your fear for social situations, your fear for getting a new job, whatever it is, whatever you're scared of doing, that is only going to get worse if you sit in inaction, because it's going to build up in your mind of something that you know you're avoiding. The pressure of that scenario is going to build up and build up. Your expectations of how bad it is going to go is going to build up and up and up, and it's only going to get worse and worse and worse. You must take action right now. And it doesn't matter how big that action is. It doesn't matter if that action is one little step today. Speaking to the cashier today, writing out my CV, starting my CV, looking at other jobs on Indeed, messaging an old friend on Instagram I've wanted to meet up with. Whatever it is that makes you anxious that you know you should do, go and do it. Take one step towards that, and then take another step the day after, and another step the day after. Because all of this is going to result in a compounding effect of you eventually being where you want to be, you being at the desired result of that idealistic version of yourself. We have this current state of our society which is just pure inaction, it's pure avertedness, it's pure distraction. And it's such a shame, because we're not going on these heroes' journeys. We're not embarking on our own journey and tackling all the obstacles that come on. Instead, we're hiding away in fear and being cowards. And this is why we've got loads of young men with boy psychology instead of adopting a male psychology. Instead of being the masculine, mature man, we are choosing to be boys. We're secluded by our own insecurities and anxieties. We rely on our parents so much. We give in to instant gratification. We don't serve our greatest purpose. And this is all led in fear and control. Look how fear controls people beyond our own thoughts and fear and our own beliefs about the fear of death, about the fear of us failing, about the fear of our own insecurities and anxieties. Look at how governments use fear to control people. Look at how the elites do the same. Everyone uses fear because it keeps people still. It keeps people comfortable and in a box. And fear's been utilized through thousands of years to control and manipulate. And you're doing that to yourself. What the elites do to the average masses right now, what's happening to us when we give into their subliminal messages and all their control, you're doing that to yourself with your own mind. They're doing no different than what you're doing to yourself. And you have control of this. You don't have control over what they do, but you have control over what you do. And you can make choices to overcome your fear right now. You do not have to give into it. It's all just a fabrication in your own mind. It's all thoughts and beliefs that are holding you back. Frameworks of thinking that are interpretations from your past experiences. And you literally have the ability to chip away at them beliefs, chip away at them thoughts, deep root it, throw it out, and replant a new one. You have that ability in you. I have that ability in me, and so does everyone else. That's pretty much everything I've got to say, people. Thank you very much for listening. If you want to go and check out more of my content, check out my Instagram. There's going to be like daily stories on there and a lot more. Just more of my personal life, me in the gym, me what I'm eating day to day. All the things I'm doing on a day-to-day scenario. I think I'm going to be posting, using my Instagram as like a TV show kind of, just to like give people more like daily value so they don't have to sit there and watch the 15 minutes podcast or the 30 minutes podcast. I think it'll be a lot very helpful. So yeah, go and check out my Instagram, subscribe to my YouTube, leave a like and comment, please. It really helps me out. And if you're getting any value from my videos, I would really appreciate you just commenting and like giving me support and giving me a like. It really helps with the algorithm. It gets me in front of more people, and then I can start making more impact and hopefully get where I want to go with all the content that I'm doing at the moment. So please support me. DM me if you want to have a chat, if you want to meet up or anything. I've only got like 60 followers at the moment, so anyone that listens to me, I'm well happy to come and like meet, and we'll go and have a gym session or something. I do this content mostly for my self-serving purposes, but also like to build a community of people. Like I want to go and meet the people that are interested in the same stuff I'm interested in. And so if you're listening to my podcast, you're clearly interested into the stuff I am. So let's meet up. Let's go have a gym session. Let's build a community of like-minded people that want to see each other to win. We've got this thing in the UK where everyone wants to see everyone secluded. They don't want everyone to do well. But like, fuck that. Let's go and help each other. Let's win together. Let's support each other. I think it'll be massively important for us all. So yeah, thank you very much for listening, people. And I'll see you all in the next video.